mistake. Well, who did he see when he heard who was there? Now it seems that he should.
All right, everybody, welcome out to the Log Room Guys Craft Beer Show. It is Tuesday, July the 18th, 2023. Jersey Johnny coming at you. With me, as always, is none other than Mr. Beer Samurai. Say hello, Mr. Samurai.
Oh, hi. I'm trying to make like the Irish flag here.
Yeah, it would be an Irish flag-ish.
In sour candies.
In sour candies. Why are you eating sour candies?
Because I have Scary got me a pack of sour candies at the
Oh,
grocery store.
fine. How about it? That's good.
So I'm going to eat these. That's orange, and it tastes like orange.
Okay. Does the white taste like white? Or does the green taste like green?
The white actually kind of tastes like white.
Like
No flavor.
Tastes like nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Tastes like it's vanilla. It's a vanilla candy.
No, not even vanilla. It tastes like white sugar.
White sugar. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And then the green tastes like kiwi. I'm going lime since this is a sour candy.
Yeah, you would think it would be lime. I guess it's lime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna have an hour later. It's not necessarily sour.
Oh no, that's green apple.
What's green apple?
Green.
Oh, green is green.
So
apple.
Orange tastes like orange. White tasted like white sugar, and orange tastes like green tastes like green apple.
Well, this is green apple too, and it is a little sour.
No, I'm wondering what the blues taste like.
It's definitely sour an hour later, but this one is anyway.
Okay, so the blue is blue raspberry. So all the colors taste like their color.
Okay. Well, this is sour apple.
There's no red. Oh, I've got like one red in here.
Now I remember why I haven't had an hour later in 40-something years.
Because it takes 40-something years to chew them.
I think I just finished the one I had when I was 5 about a week ago.
Yeah, these take a while. This is now riveting. Watching John and I try to chew things that that. How do kids eat these so quickly?
I don't know. Just so you guys are aware, it is Sour Candy Day. Happy Sour Candy.
Oh yeah, no, it is.
If you hadn't guessed,
red tastes like cherry.
There you go.
Okay.
Cool. Right, well, I do have another one here, but I'm not going to eat it.
Well, why are you eating sour candies? Because it's Sour Candy Day.
It's Sour Candy Day.
It's also Water Pistol Day.
It is. Happy Water Pistol Day. I don't have one.
I don't have one either. I do. I got a few in a box.
In storage.
In storage, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so it's Water Pistol Day today. I thought it was something else too.
It is. It's Happy World Listening Day. So hopefully the world is listening to this podcast tonight.
Yes, and hopefully it's not us doing the listening because that would just be boring. Us going.
We got to do that one day. We'll do an hour-long podcast of you and I going.
Just listening. It's so zen.
Exactly.
Okay, I need to watch.
Hey, I got a question for you on that note. What did the Zen Buddhist say to the hot dog vendor?
I'll take 2 with mustard, please.
No, he said, make me one with everything. And also, I got one more for you, really quick.
Well, hold on. Before you do that, hold on. I've got to. What's it? Where is it? We'll get there. Getting there. Give me. This is.
I'm waiting.
This is. Oh, geez. There's an ad.
This is production at its finest.
Yeah. So we could edit. We could edit this out, right?
No.
This
is a live show.
Oh, that's right. Okay, hold on. Where do I have it? Yeah, there we go. Okay,
there you go. Okay, whatever that was. All right, here we go. So, a kid crying to daddy saying, "I want mommy," is the child equivalent of "I'd like to speak to your supervisor."
Yes. Oh, there we go.
There you go.
That's what I was trying to do.
There you go.
Very poorly. But...
Very poorly. All right. Anyway, okay. Yeah. So that's all the days, and that's our banter for today. Folks, we do want to apologize.
Well, before we get there, there's a reason I was making the Irish flag.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Oh,
It is a new show.
this is a new show.
It's a new show before I go to Ireland. So
Right.
we've got to give the clue
for today.
parameter, data, whatever you want, information that you might need to make a semi-educated guess.
Yes.
You're probably best off just getting shit-faced drunk and and rolling a whole bunch of like six-sided die and coming up with a number.
Or reach in your pocket, pull out a bunch of change, count the amount up, and use that number.
Yeah, or pull out a bill and use like the first two digits you come across.
But if you pull out a 1.
No. I mean, on the serial number. I mean, I'm sorry. On the serial number.
All right.
So, but we're going to give the clue this time is, so if anybody who knows me knows that I research the hell out of every vacation.
Mm-hmm.
Right, as does John. I'm just a little more psychotic about it.
Right. And just does half of my research anyway. So
it's like we're going to go see the biggest pooper scooper in Iowa.
Now it's involving Danny DeVito all the time, though. So
oh yes, and Danny DeVito's got to be there. Yes, Jess has become quite the celebrity down the shore.
Mm-hmm. And in Staten Island apparently too. I don't know how.
And in Staten Island, and with the running community.
Yes.
In the running community, because she came across Danny DeVito on the boardwalk, took one picture with him,
one selfie.
It
went more viral than I've seen things go viral anywhere before.
So she's now been promoted to marketing and PR director for Coastal Brew Works
and several other companies too.
It's been insane. It was,
and NASA's going to want to talk to her.
Of course. And Brian Alt and I have the same comment. Will it never end?
No.
It just keeps going and going. I always picture. I just forgot the actor's name. Hans Gruber.
Hans Gruber, yes.
What was the actor's name?
Alan Rickman.
Alan Rickman. That's it. I was thinking Rick. No, his last name is Rick. In Dogma. Mm-hmm. At the end, when he gets, I guess, blood on him, it's like, oh, will it ever end? He starts wiping it using God's robe to wipe it off of his jacket. Yep. Anyway, where were we? What were we talking about?
Your clue for this week.
Oh, for this week. Okay, so one of the researches I did is because the whole thing is if you go into Ireland, you must have Guinness because they say Guinness is different in Ireland. Everyone I know who's been to Ireland and had a Guinness says the same thing. So I did a lot of research on Guinness in Ireland as to where to get the best pints, and I came across this guy called the Guinness Guru. We were going to try to get him on the show, but the time difference and the fact that he's got a real job made it impossible for us to get him on the show. But chat back and forth with him a little bit. But he's called the Guinness Guru. He puts out there ratings of the best Guinness pours everywhere he's been.
Right.
He's even been in the United States. And the one thing I've seen from his ratings, Guinness is mostly piss poor in the United States, except for like one place in like downtown Manhattan. It's called Dead Rabbit or something like that. It's right down near.
It's down the financial district. The Dead Rabbit. Yeah, it's down there.
Dead Rabbit. Yeah, it's the Dead Rabbit. It's like the only one that has any kind of anything that got. It was the only thing that got over 7 rating out of 10. And the worst ratings of all Guinness pours on the globe probably was California, which is not surprising, considering that is a IPA heavy community.
Yep.
So, but I did look at where some of the best pours were in Ireland, and I do plan on visiting some of these places.
That's good.
So not only will be going to Guinness Storehouse, as we mentioned last week, taking the tour, and I get a feeling they probably pour a good Guinness there.
You would think.
But we're going to be in Killarney, and one of the best pours in this.
Whoa! Did you say going to be in Kearney? I mean, that's
Killarney.
Oh, Killarney. Okay.
I'm surprised there's no place in Kearney that pours a good. Well, they're not. It's not really much of an Irish town anymore, is it? It used to be.
Yeah.
It used to be.
The St. Patrick's Day parade's still pretty kicking. So
That's still pretty kicking, but most of the people in the parade are Portuguese.
Everybody's Irish on St. Patrick's Day.
This is true. But Killarney, there's a place in Killarney that's got a really good pour. Actually, there's two places in Killarney. We'll be in Dingle. And yes, I like to mention the fact we're going to be in Dingle because it's just fun to say
Dingle, yeah.
I really wish we could go pick berries there. I wonder if there's a pick your own.
Yeah, pick your own dingleberries?
Yes. We can go picking dingleberries. But anyway, and of course, we're going to be in Dublin, and there's so many places in Dublin that have really good pours. So
that was one team name I came across from people playing trivia and how they have funny team names for trivia, right?
Yeah.
Bar trivia. It was we must be in Ireland because my penis is Dublin.
Okay.
Or maybe it was you must be from Ireland.
Yes, you must. Okay, that makes more sense. That makes a lot more sense.
Well, no, it's saying to a girl or either
Yeah.
Either way it worked. It's the same thing. Anyway.
So that was that. So now we can move on to the apologies.
The apologies. Okay. So now that we've taken care of the housekeeping, so to speak,
Yes.
We can say that originally, because we did have this screen up in the beginning,
Yep.
and our guest from Kahnawake Brewing up in Kahnawake, Quebec, or excuse me, Quebec.
Actually,
Drew-
in Canada, a lot of them do say Quebec. Yeah, believe it or not.
Interesting.
But I don't think the Quebecois say Quebec, but I think
Probably
the
not.
English speakers pronounce it Quebec.
Gotcha. And the
We
one
heard,
thing,
we heard it both ways.
gotcha. But in any event, from Kahnawake Brewing, co-owner and brewer, head brewer, Drew Stevens, was coming on the show tonight. And here's his banner, if you will. Drew Stevens, Kahnawake Brewing. Now, look, by the way, it's Kahnawake Brewing, right? But I remembered how to spell it because it's like Khan awake.
Yes, like
Right.
Wrath of Khan,
Awake.
awake.
Right.
And
Wrath of Kahnawake.
like John said, he's the co-owner.
He's the co-owner.
Of three owners.
Right.
The other owners are Fred LeBlanc and Matt Deere.
Not Matt LeBlanc and Fred Deere.
Yeah, right. Matt LeBlanc, that'd be interesting. So both of them are from the Mohawk Nation.
Right.
And the brewery is on a Mohawk reservation.
It's on a reservation, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
so we call them reservations, but they call them reserves there.
Right.
So it's on a Mohawk reserve.
Mm-hmm.
So Drew he's the brewer,
Mm-hmm.
and the other two are more of the business owners.
Right.
So, so it's a shame that we couldn't have him on.
I didn't actually say that yet, but he was coming on the show, and he got tied up.
I think everyone got to the point
where they figured it out. Well, maybe not, because there are going to be people re-listening to this audio-wise and not seeing that he's not on the show with us at this point. So, but in any event, exactly. Where is he? He's over there.
Yeah. Yep.
In any event, yeah, he apologizes. It was last minute. He got tied up. He's not able to come on the show tonight. There's an outside shot he may be able to pop on.
We shall see.
But we decided normally we either plan to do a Just the Two of Us show when this happens, or we slot in a fill-in guest. And it's usually one of three, unfortunately or fortunately, depending on how you look at it. Over the next 2 weeks, all three of our fill-in guests are going to be on the show. 2 next week and 1 following.
We need some more fill-in guests.
We need some other fillers, right? Yeah. But in any event, so we're going to do an impromptu Just the Two of Us show. But we're going to be talking about Kahnawake Brewing, because we're going to be drinking the Kahnawake beers that we were going to be drinking.
Well, I've said most of everything I know.
Because we have to reschedule it. If we have to reschedule with Drew, it's probably not going to be till the end of September at this point. So, and the beers we've had these for a little bit, and we don't want to wait another 2 to 3 months to drink these now. So.
And I won't need to take another 6.5 hour drive.
This is true. So, in any event, you got the two of us tonight, and we're going to discuss a lot of the stuff, but probably not the same responses, obviously.
Yeah.
We'll talk about.
Well, I spoke to Drew quite a bit, so John can ask me questions, and I might be able to answer some of them.
There you go. There you go.
I do know the poutine there is really good.
There you go. All right. So what is it that you're drinking right now? Because you obviously poured a beer and you've been
Oh
drinking.
yeah. So knowing that Drew's may or may not come on. If he doesn't come on later, I'm not drinking his first. But also, I want to start off with a lager. So I'd heard a lot about this. Algatullo has talked it up quite a bit.
Mhm. Take me down to the asteroid city where the lager's clean and the girls are pretty.
I was hoping you wouldn't sing.
Yeah, where the lager's clean and the girls are pretty. That's a cool city.
That's a cool city.
That's a good day for everybody.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just like the labels got me thrown off a little bit because there. I remember.
I thought you were thinking about girls and clean lagers.
No. I'm looking at the crater here, and there's a photo of like Crater National Park, and right on the rim there's the visitor center. It says, "Oh my God, look how close this visitor center came from being destroyed by the asteroid." That's pretty funny. So that's what I was thinking. At any rate, this is it's a lager.
It's a lager.
Little touch of sweetness. Drinks a little like a Bavarian lager, actually.
Fair enough.
I like that. This is my first time having it. We got to take the shot. Okay, here we go. We'll do it. Cover.
Like the
Obligatory. We do the John thing. So that's what I'm drinking. What are you?
I'm gonna start with my first Kahnawake, only because my third beer is heavier than the other two, so I'm doing that last. But you'll be drinking this one soon enough. So
probably about 45 seconds.
Yeah, so I'll be drinking Kahnawake Boot Lager. It's a whatchamacallit, a
pre-prohibition
5.6% pre-prohibition lager. So I'm glad you went with the lager before the lager. So,
yes, I don't. Yeah, because the lager would have stepped over the lager if I did the lager first.
Exactly. Here's the point.
So this beer I haven't had yet. This wasn't on tap when we were there, so I haven't had this one. My third beer I did have while we were there.
You didn't have the pre-prohibition lager.
I have not had it yet. No.
All right. I'm going to take my obligatory picture if you.
So there we go.
If you don't mind, just momentito.
So, but Kahnawake it's on a kind of what one might actually describe as a highway.
All right. I have a quick question about this. I'm going to take a sip of this, by the way. Cheers.
Cheers.
All right. Oh, that's pretty tasty. Oh, it's nice. I love a good pre-prohibition lager. It's got a nice little. They always tend to have a nice little caramel touch to them. Just slight in the background. It's nice.
Mm-hmm. It's got a beautiful color.
It does have a very pretty color.
Good straw.
You know, I'll pour the rest in mine.
Like that. Builds a nice head, though, doesn't it?
It does build a nice head. And there you go. And I drank it in the
Yes.
marketing glass.
That's you can get the head to sit a little bit above the rim there, so it's got some good structure to it.
What I find ironic, okay, is that this is a pre-prohibition lager. Now that is
now the second reference we've made to Alanis Morissette on the show today.
Isn't it ironic? Yeah. All right. So and Dogma, right? Exactly. Yeah. So anyway, pre-prohibition lager is indeed a style, right? But a pre-prohibition lager being brewed in a country that
didn't have prohibition. Oof! Imagine if they tried to enforce prohibition in Ireland. Wow.
Yeah, that would have been interesting.
And they thought the Troubles were troubling.
It's the Troubles. Yeah, exactly. So, and in
that is yummy. And there's that little touch of caramel you talked about.
Yep.
Oh, I like that a lot. Okay.
Nice bitterness, residual bitterness in the background. Nice little bit of caramel. before it finishes with the bitter into the bitterness. It's very nice. I like it. I really like a good pre-prohibition lager. And you know who else did one? And I only had it a couple times up there. And this is in reference to the three amigos that we know that went up to Portland this past weekend.
Oh, those doom coughs.
I don't know if they hit this brewery, but Four River Brewing.
I may have had that while I was there.
The Dow's Folly it's called, if I remember correctly.
That sounds familiar. I may have that.
Dow's Folly is a pre-prohibition lager, and theirs is pretty fantastic too. But this is right up there. This is very, very good. This is well made.
And no offense to Dogfish Head.
Mm-hmm.
I'm enjoying this a lot more.
Oh yeah, no. This is very tasty. This is a very tasty.
That's really good.
Yeah,
that's really good.
I'm liking it. All right. All right. So I'll start off. Samurai.
That's me.
To the best of your recollection, what was Drew's first? What was Drew's first craft beer?
Did you say Four Rivers?
Four River.
Four River. That's the
Four River.
Why is Four River not coming up?
FORE.
That's why. Because I
not
can't
four.
Spell words. Crap.
Four.
Four legs in golf. So the Gulf of Rivers.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I'm just trying to see if I had it or not. Mm-hmm. And I had I did have Dow's Folly.
Dow's Folly.
I said lovely malt aftertaste.
Mm-hmm.
So, but this is good. So his first craft beer, I don't think we didn't delve into that.
I was kidding. I didn't think you did. It was more of a joke than anything.
Does Molson Canadian count?
Molson Canadian. There you go. Molson 3-0. That's what it is.
Remember, Molson Canadian came over after they were allowed to export slightly higher alcohol.
Higher alcohol, yeah.
And that's what Molson Canadian was about. So you could always tell the true alcoholics because they weren't drinking Molson Golden; they were drinking Molson Canadian.
Right, exactly.
And the funny thing is, Molson Canadian in the United States I believe, had a lower ABV than Molson Golden did in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was just higher alcohol content up there. Why? Because they could.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was pretty. It was pretty wild. And that was the whole craze, like back in the 80s. We can get Molson here. We can get Molson here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
okay, well.
My first 2 years in college, that's what I drank was Molson.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I mean, if I was legal to drink,
well, yeah,
I would
legally drink it. I get what you're saying.
If I was, yeah.
But like I told you, the last brewery I was at in Canada was the only brewery I've been at in Canada, and that would be in Montreal, and that was Molson. So
quite a few more have opened since.
Yeah, that was 1986, so it's been a while since, but
been a bit. Yes, we'll see. Because if when I was in college, I think if I was in Canada, I would have been legal to drink.
Yeah, it was.
So that's why I was drinking Molson, so I'd be legal to drink.
Right. Well, right there you go.
Yeah, that's
exactly. Because that's what they did, right?
Yeah,
country of origin for the you can drink scotch when you were 14, you're fine.
Guinness when you're 9.
Yeah, exactly. So, but in any event,
they've actually raised the drinking age in Ireland to 18.
Raised it to 18.
I'm not kidding. It used to be 16. They've raised it to 18.
There you go.
And 16 was just kind of a suggestion.
Right. 16
ish.
Give
or take 10 years.
Right. Depending on the situation, right? All right. So let me ask you this. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Kahnawake Brewing? So at least there's a little bit of information on the brewery that gets through this podcast. And if we are able to book Drew again on the show, again, it's probably going to be at least the end of September. So we can, we'll remember what we talked about tonight and we'll rehash everything. That's fine. So.
But we already talked about its ownership, the fact that it's on a Mohawk Reserve.
Mm-hmm.
I brought up briefly the fact that it's on a highway.
Mm-hmm.
So you get on the highway and you just pull off. They've got a nice outdoor seating area. They have food. They've got really good poutine.
Lovely. I like a good poutine.
Oh, and they make their own gravy, but they make it with chicken drippings.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And it was Carrie's first Canadian poutine. So she remembers it very fondly, and almost every poutine we had after that, she's like, I still like Kahnawake's better. And it was a really good poutine. The food there is really good. The people are extremely friendly. And it's like any place you go in Canada. It's really interesting to sit there, watch customers come in and out, and listen to the beer tender switch effortlessly back and forth between English and French.
Mm-hmm.
What's also neat is okay, so he got back.
No, he didn't get back to me. I'm just putting that up there so it can be there. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna make this a crawl and leave it there. I'll do that.
They do that. So what's interesting about the town of Kahnawake is the stop signs are in a third language. I believe the stop signs must be in like Mohawk.
Right.
Right. Let me put in like Mohawk for stop. Testan. I think that's what we saw was Testan. Huh? I don't know. Maybe. I wish I'd taken a picture of the stop signs. So, but it's a cute little town. But the brewery's really nice. The beer is really good.
Yeah, I mean, this is fantastic, and this is just a can that I've had for about a couple months now.
Yeah,
and it was canned on. I can't tell.
Yeah, they don't. I guess they don't label things the same way.
No, it's
not. Oh, it's on the edge.
Yeah. Wow. Really?
That doesn't say 22.
It does. August of last year.
That could possibly be June of last year, John. Remember, I think Canada does the same thing that Europe does, where they do it in the correct order, day, month, year.
Yeah, it's 22/8/14.
Oh, okay.
So it would be 20. It would be 2022 August 14th.
So this. Wait a second. This lager is over a year old, and is this damn good?
It's less than a year old because it's August. This is July. So it's 11 months old.
But still,
I'm looking at. If I'm reading it right, and I could be wrong. Yeah, it definitely looks like 22/8/14. That's what I'm looking at.
Now,
Or 22/8/24. So it's the end of August. So it's 6.5 months old.
So look at the label a little bit, and you see all this. Kahnawake, I think, was it like an iron town.
Okay.
You go through, they have.
Yeah, there's definitely bridges in the logo.
Yeah. Well, those are girders. Oh, you mean the Kahnawake logo?
The Kahnawake logo, yeah.
Yeah. You see a guy with boots on, on a. Looks like he's welding on some girders.
Right.
But yeah, I think it's an iron or steel town. We were in a graveyard doing some geocaching, and they had this. And we saw a couple of crosses made entirely of metal.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's very industrial roots. This town, working class, so it makes sense that they have a brewery, and they do such good stuff there.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I'm really liking this. I definitely want to. We got to get up there. I got to get up to Montreal. I got to take a ride up. Spend a long weekend up there. I got to get up there. It's been so long since I've been up to Montreal, and this, there's no reason that I can't. I shouldn't get up there. I got to plan on that. So
yeah, I've been there thrice.
Oh, time constraints. That's the reason I can't get up there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
something going on.
There's a few things going on, like trying to open a brewery or something.
And
once it's open, you're not going anywhere. It's up to your accounts
for at least for at least a while.
Yeah. That's okay. You can live vicariously through my adventures.
As I do.
So yeah, if you
fortunately you bring me beer back, so I feel a little connected.
Yeah, I don't know how much I'm going to be able to bring back from Ireland, but we're bringing like 6 suitcases. So, and
4 of them empty.
So, well, I
I
can't.
got the checker at the baggage checker. Like, wow, you pack light. All right.
On the way there, on the way back.
Yeah,
What is in this? No,
bought a lot of clothes. It's the whole thing.
20 bottles of Irish whiskey in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've got. It's like when we went to Italy, I brought back a few cans of Italian beer.
Okay.
And like 4 bottles, one of which was a Magnum of Prosecco. So
Very nice.
So going to Ireland, how much beer do you bring back, and how much whiskey?
And that Magnum of Prosecco, I'm pretty sure that somebody had some of that.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah. I didn't.
No. Where do we open that?
At Jim's. I know you brought. Didn't you brought the grappa back, right?
Oh yes. Oh, you're talking about that Jim. I'm like, which?
Yeah, no. Yeah,
Which Jim are you talking about?
Not Jim, not Healy, not Harris. Neither the H's.
Did you have any of the grappa?
Did I have any of the grappa? I had a third of the bottle with you and Jim.
Oh, that's right. I don't remember much about that now. Actually, I spoke to him today.
Did you?
Yeah, he was a business meeting with his wife, but she put him on the speakerphone. He goes, oh yeah, he was out fishing. He goes, yeah, I just hit the dock. I said, I hope you didn't hit it too hard.
Yeah, right.
And he's like, oh, that's just what we talked about. I'm like, yeah, Jim, I know. Come on, you know me by now.
Right.
So we may be going out visit them in September. We'll see.
Nice, cool.
Because they're going on vacation, and then the day they get back, we leave.
There you go.
So yeah, but yeah, so that's the whole thing. I know you don't travel abroad a lot.
No, she doesn't let me. Oh, I'm sorry.
Cute. So it's like, are you John Madden? Are you afraid to fly?
No, I got to get over to Germany. I mean, we talked about that, and I more on this coming up. I'll let you know. Read between the lines. That is in the works. Actually, emails have been exchanged. So
excellent.
We got some stuff coming up. So I mean, it's probably going to start in 2024. But either way, it works, right? So
not a bad thing.
So yeah. So
speaking of 2024, as far as travel is concerned, see, this year Ireland, we're going for Carrie's birthday, so she chose Ireland.
Right.
I'm not mad at that. To quote Matt Patensky,
it doesn't suck.
There's absolutely no suck in it.
It's zero suck in that trip.
Again, quoting Matt Patensky.
Matt Patensky, right?
We're going to channel Matt the whole damn show.
Yeah.
We usually channel Tom. So.
We did earlier.
Yes. So I get to choose next year, and I'm torn.
You did choose your birthday or her birthday next year?
It'll be my birthday next year, so we'll be going in. So I get to choose the international trip.
So the international trip will be in April next year.
It will be in April. So it's interesting because usually we try to go someplace a little more south than the places that I'm considering, except for one. So one of the ones on the list is Portugal. And you know why Portugal's on the list.
Gee, let me think about that one for a minute.
It's not the seafood. No, that's got a lot to do with it. Yeah, it may have something to do with port. So if you also follow Tom Overhill, you'll know that John and I did a port show with him.
We did.
How many ports did I have, John?
You had 6.
I had 6 ports.
I had 5. Tom had 4.
And I had 1 bottle of a 40-year-old. Right?
Yeah. I prefer 220. I prefer 220-year-olds.
20 and 2 10s. Wait a second.
No.
So of those 6 bottles, and this is all that's left.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's it. Well, those other 5 bottles were hanging on by their damn fingernails, waiting for that show. So those got finished in no time.
Exactly.
Anyway, so Lisbon, Portugal, Porto. maybe just Porto and what are the and the Azores.
You got to get to the Azores. That'd be silly if you don't go there.
Yeah, so maybe it might be Porto and the Azores.
Wasn't that like that was the original name of Benny and the Jets?
Porto and the Azores.
Porto and the Azores.
But they lost a little weight.
Right, exactly.
Option number 2 involves a lot of border crossings. It would start in München,
Yep.
as Americans call it, Munich.
Munich, right.
Because we call things what English called them, the British called them, and when the British were busy trying to conquer the whole world, they decided to anglicize every fucking thing they can come across.
Mm-hmm.
The next stop would be Praha, which we call Prague.
Prague, right.
And then the next stop would be Vienna, which we call Vienna.
Mm-hmm.
They're really nice little sausages. Are too small.
So, and it waits for you.
It will wait for you.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe get down to the border of Liechtenstein. And
Get down to the border of Liechtenstein. That's another
and Austria.
Right.
And because that's where the crazy Austrians live that we met in Montreal.
Crazy Austrians.
So I'm going to try to get them to meet us up in Munich.
There you go. Well, you might want to look into just doing the Portugal trip because
The thing we're talking about
might bring us to Munich and Vienna and that whole
Prague.
Yeah, right. So
see, here's the thing about Prague. Is that the Czech Republic has the highest beer consumption per capita than any other country on the planet.
And if Dave goes there,
by far,
it will increase like tenfold.
I get the feeling that if I go there, I'll be shamed. These people. Well, the thing is, like most European countries, they do it right where it's food and beer at the same time.
Take your time, do it right. You can do it, Davey.
Do it tonight.
I didn't want to call you baby. I called you Davey.
I caught that. Yeah. So then the other option would be just a tour around some of the major cities of Germany. Well, some of the major beer cities of Germany. Start off in München, then get up to Bamberg.
You got to go to Bamberg. Yep, absolutely.
Get over to Berlin,
mm-hmm.
Then maybe out to Stuttgart, and then maybe over to Fladungen.
Fladungen. Add an en on the end. Fladungen.
And get a Fladungener.
No, Fladungener. We're going to be brewing a Fladungener.
You're gonna be, of course you will. How do you have to brew a Fladungener?
Potensky-ener. No, it doesn't work.
No. Let's see. You have to do us like a Gratzer, but
we'll do it. Yeah. Well, he doesn't like smoked beer, so he's not going to do that for his beer. So.
Oh, you sissy.
Can we do a Belgian Polish beer? It doesn't work that way. Right.
No.
Yeah. And Healy has his own beer for every St. Patrick's Day. So.
Ah, very nice.
Seamus O'Healy is our Irish red. So.
Seamus O'Healy.
And the original spelling of O'Healy was his original name. His great grandfather, not his grandfather's great grandfather, changed it when they came to America. They arrived in Ellis Island. They were O'Healy. It's O' and it's HEIGHLAGH, something like that.
A whole lot of excessive vowels and consonants.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was pronounced, and it was like Shillelagh. It was pronounced O'Healy, but he just changed it to HEALEY. So, but we'll use the original spelling of it. It's Seamus is James. So
yeah,
Seamus O'Healy. So there you go.
O'Healy. Okay. That works.
Works. So in any event,
so you still need one for Matt though.
Need one for Matt.
Well, he loves Pater beers. Pater Tensky.
Pater Tensky. There you go. We can do.
You're Polish Belgian.
There you go. I paid her 10 skis.
There you go. I like that.
There we go. All right.
But how does that
It
Does
doesn't.
that tie into
It
coastal?
it
And how
does.
does Seamus O'Healy tie into coastal?
Water
One
skis.
of the
Water skis.
water skis.
Seamus O'Healy is an Irish red ale. How do you change? How do you tie an Irish red ale into, as we call it, red tide?
No, don't do no. That's bad marketing, right
bad
there.
marketing, exactly. So how else to stay away from that? You call it something other than that.
Yeah, well, you could do Manana Maclear.
All we do is we put a schooner on the label with Seamus O'Healy. Done.
No, because Manana Maclear was the he was the ancient
or a cutter.
The ancient god of the sea.
Right, there you go. But how many people know that? Besides you.
He was one of the Tuatha De Danann.
Yeah.
I'm probably butchering the hell out of the pronunciation of all of this.
Probably.
But I've been doing research into some of the history of Ireland, and it's quite bloody.
A little bit.
Yeah. Well, I'm not even talking the recent history. I'm talking ancient history.
Oh no. Yeah. Well, a little bit. Yeah. So in any event, all right. Wanted to bring up a couple things since we're here. All right. First of all, just want to continue the chit chat about places to go. Last week, got into the city for the first time in a little bit.
Where'd you go? You didn't tell me. Thanks for the invite.
We went to a concert, and I didn't have a ticket for you, so that was when.
Oh, I would have gone to the show anyway.
Exactly. Yeah, last Wednesday night, Jess's favorite band.
The Dropkick Murphys.
Nope. We saw them in AC.
I know, and they were at the Balloon Festival, and not the Dropkick Murphys. Jess's favorite band.
Jess's favorite band is
New Kids on the Block.
Nah. You know who they are. Shut up.
Don't make me say it.
Bare Naked Ladies.
Oh, that's right.
Bare Naked Ladies. All right. And what's good about it is, and to wind up, and it was last Wednesday, right? Now, look. First of all, great guys. I've met them.
We know
a few times, right?
We know. Beer guy.
Yeah, exactly. Jim Cregan, the bass player, met them all originally in 2014. 2018, he sees me, goes, beer guy, calls me beer guy. Anyway, so saw them again after the show. There's Jess, myself, and Tyler, the drummer.
Nice.
There's Jess, myself, and Kevin, the keyboard player, guitarist.
Okay.
And there's Jess, myself, and Ed Robertson, the lead singer, right there.
Nice.
So there you go. But great guys, great musicians. They really are amazing musicians. They really are. But in any event, so we go into the city for that. It was on the rooftop at Pier 17, South Street Seaport.
Yeah, Karen and I were going to go to a show there once.
Great venue. Great venue.
Well, unfortunately, there was lightning.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's on the top. Yeah. So next to the river on top. Yeah, you're not having it when it's.
Yeah, we're going to see Jason Mraz. That would have been a lot of fun.
So we go there for the show, and two bands opened up for them. Delamitri opened up for them.
Oh, nice! I like the Delamitris.
Yeah, Roll to Me was their bass hit, right?
Great video of them all being pushed around in baby carriages.
Right. And then Five for Fighting also opened up as well.
Not as big of a fan, no.
Not as big as a fan, and they did. It's Not Easy to Be Me.
Yeah, it's not that I don't like, just not as big a fan as I was at the Delamitri.
And the other one is Only Have 100 Years. That was their other song.
Maybe.
I'm 15 for a moment. That song.
You sung enough for one show.
That's all I need to sing. That's it. But actually hung out with him for a couple minutes too. The guy from Five for Fighting. So
okay.
Anyway, but
he looks like that guy who hunts down all like the crazy beasts and animals and stuff. Can't remember his name.
Animals.
It's just like the Supernatural Adventures or something.
Oh, I know you're talking about. Can't think of his name a little bit. He does look a little bit.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right. So we did that, but before we did that, so we drive in. Got a late start because I had a bunch of stuff that I had to get done for the brewery, obviously. So we were originally going to stop by Strong Rope on the way in, but couldn't do that. Went straight in.
Really not on the way, but okay.
No, but we were going to come in that way. So
if you came through Staten Island, yes,
right, Staten Island and up through right. Anyway, so we came in through the city, through Jersey City, Holland Tunnel, and and wound up going over and parking in the East Village. And of course, we stopped in to see Greg.
Did you?
Stopped in at Augers Well, had a couple beers, and then left there and took an Uber down to Celsius Seaport. Met up with the people we were going with, which also was Mr. Birthday Boy from last Tuesday or last Monday.
Oh yes, Mr. Granat.
Mr. Granat, and his wife and his friend Eric, who, if you recall, Eric, do you remember a few years ago?
Wait, Joe has friends?
Yeah, besides us, imagine.
Why does he hang out with us?
I don't know. But he has. Remember Eric that came on when in the beginning of the pandemic we did that all night bottle share video online,
Yeah,
from
not
7 to like
not Nosefield, the other Eric.
No. Yeah, Joe's friend Eric. He was there, and Catherine's sister. So the 6 of us, we go. Met them up. We went to had a bite to eat, popped around, had a couple beers, and then we went over to the show. When we were done there, we waited. They left, and we went back up to Augers Well anyway. So my point in telling you this is that had some great beer at Augers Well. Had a Root and Branch. Had a couple of Hill Farmsteads. Had a bunch of stuff. Really, really good stuff. Greg is going to be coming on the show probably in September at some point.
Very nice. Very nice.
So it's about time. Greg, I've been wanting to get Greg on the show for a while.
This weekend, we were actually going to head out.
And he's got another place too, by the way.
Oh, does he? What's it called?
Yeah, it's over in Tribeca. For the last 3 minutes while I've been talking, I've been trying to remember the damn name of it, but I'll report back on that. More on that in a little bit. We'll share the link to it, but he's got another place, and he's still at Augers Well more than he's at this new place, but he's got another place too. So and it's over in Tribeca. So
it's in Tribeca.
Yeah.
There's a few places in Tribeca that are craft beer bars, like Another Room.
Mm-hmm.
I doubt he would call it Puffy's Tavern.
No, it's not Puffy's Tavern.
I'm not even going to go through all of this.
Yeah.
But either way, weather up.
Exactly.
Weather.
But in any event, so that's where I wanted to go. But all right,
we were going to head out to Long Island this weekend.
I'm pouring my second beer, by the way.
I'm going to be grabbing my third soon as I finish my second.
You may have to have a fourth if I'm going to have my third. So.
It's very possible. But we're going to head out to Long Island because at one point the traffic looked pretty damn good, considering it's.
How far out were you going to
go? We're gonna do a tour, hit some breweries. What were the ones we were gonna hit? At first, I was headed out to Root and Branch,
Sure.
and 27A. But I didn't want to go that far out. So what I wanted to do, if I can remember which ways we are going to go, we're going to go to Lost Farmer.
Nice. Lost Farmers in
Mineola.
Mineola, right?
Right, and then we're going to head out to Barn Shed, Mythology, Necromantic.
Yeah, Necromantic's good.
Motion Craft, and then Long Island Brewing. Bruce.
Pour this. You're gonna like it. It's very good.
No, I've had this one. Okay, so this particular beer. ESBs typically are not my favorite style because we can't do them right in this country. They can do it right in Canada.
Apparently.
Kerry orders it.
They will be done right in Eatontown next
Good.
year.
So Kerry orders it. I don't order it. She orders it. And she makes me take a sip of it. So guess what the next beer I ordered was? I'm like, I need one of these.
Yeah.
God.
That is very pretty color too. Look at that.
This is
gorgeous.
This is exactly what an ESB should be. And John knows this, so it's not a lecture to him. It's a lecture to any other brewer that might be listening here. An ESB does not mean that it's bitter as fucking hell.
No.
It just means that it is the malts are still the primary ingredient and flavor profile in the beer.
It's an English beer. That by definition means malt forward. we bastardized hops in America, and to a good point sometimes.
Yes, to the point where the rest of the world is following.
But not in this beer.
No, and that's what everything gets screwed up every time an American gets their hands on an ESB recipe. Like that doesn't seem like enough hops, or oh, you're only doing the hop addition in the boil. Are you out of your mind? We're going to double dry hop this. Stop! No, the whole point of an ESB is to get a little bit more bitterness, cut a little bit more into the malt sweetness, but the malts are still fucking king in this beer. This is done right.
The ES in ESB has something to do with the beer. It's not just the B. It's extra special.
And this beer is extra special. This is the first non-English ESB that I took a sip of. Went, yes, yes.
Yeah, I mean,
so I know John and Matt know what they're supposed to do with one. So I expect something like this.
Yeah. We're gonna have a very nice one.
Yeah, and
it's
this
going to be very similar.
When we sat and drank there, this is the one that impressed me the most. I feel like this pre-prohibition lager.
Pre-prohibition lager, yeah, it was very good. Both these, I'll talk to him. I'm going to call Drew tomorrow. At the brewery, but I'm actually disappointed he's not on to get his accolades from me for these two beers because they're fantastic. They really are.
And it's funny because it's the first brewery that we hit in Canada, and it's weird. It's typically if I'm on a tour and I'm hitting a lot of breweries, rarely do I buy beer at the first brewery I hit.
Right. Only if it's ridiculously good, and I'm the same way. If I go there, if I'm on a trip, whether it's one place or multiple places on a driving thing or whatever, the first brewery I hit is one of 20, right? So,
you're not buying a whole lot of beer.
I'm not buying a whole lot of beer at the first place because I got another 19 to hit. So
but this one I'm like, we're getting ready to
stand out. Yeah, you're going. Yeah,
I went right over to the cooler, but I need this. I need this. I need this. I need this. John needs this. John needs this.
Exactly.
Oh my God, this is the one that I really need to get this one home. This really, really blew my mind while I was there. This was just so well done. Just love this beer. So I'm hoping, at least match it, Johnny.
Absolutely. No, we will. We will. This will be. You'll be looking at something very, very, very similar to this.
It's got the color of an Irish red, like we were just talking about an Irish red.
This is fantastic. Look at that color. I mean, it's gorgeous. That is a gorgeous ESB right there.
Yeah. Drew knows what he's doing.
He does.
Drew knows what he's doing.
All right. A couple of things just to round out the weekend, if you will. Saturday had to go up to more of the birthday boys festivities. He had his party on Saturday night.
Thanks for the invite, Joe.
Small little thing. But in any event, Saturday we were up there. So Jess's sister lives in Long Valley and they're on vacation. So we were able to Airbnb their house. So
nice.
We went over. But no, so Sunday we're up there, right? So we went to wanted to start at Jersey Girls. I wanted to have a beer with Chuck. Haven't seen Chuck in a little bit since the golf outing was the last time I saw him. So I wanted to actually no. Yeah, golf outing was the last time I saw Chuck. So I wanted to have a beer with him. So I was texting him. He wasn't getting back to me. I'm like, that's unlike Chuck. And so finally he gets back to me. He's like, sorry, can't meet you today. I'm in Greece. I'm like, all right.
Wait a second. Now that could mean either one or two things with Chuck.
Yeah, no, I know.
It's either the country or he's doing car repair.
Right, exactly. So now he was a family vacation. They're about to be empty nesters, so they wanted to take one more family vacay, right?
Oh, big celebration.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
they're out of the house.
Exactly. So anyway, so we went to Buttsville and Chilton Mill, both amazing breweries, delicious beer, had a great time. We went to Long Valley Brew Pub for dinner afterwards, great food. Anyway.
Did you get the best worst?
I got the best worst. Right, exactly.
I figured you wouldn't get the best worst.
So
that's what they call it. They got what three worst on that list.
Three, yeah, there's three, yeah. So anyway, but yeah, Buttsville, Dave from Buttsville, and Mike from Chilton Mill will both be coming on the show, hopefully in September.
There's only so many shows in September. We've now announced about
all
5
of them.
people.
No. There's 4. There's 4 shows in September. We've announced 4. So there you go.
Oh no, we've announced 3, and we're
we've
hoping
announced
back.
And we're hoping for what? We've announced 3, yeah, and we know the 4th one. We're waiting for confirmation. So
Exactly. We'll see about that.
We'll see about that. Well, at this point, yeah, it's a we'll see about that, right? So, but in any event, So we're into October. So rescheduling Drew might not be till October at this point. So, but we'll get him on. We'll get him on because we definitely want to talk to him about. I want to talk about the pre-prohibition lager, and I want to talk about this ESB. This is fantastic.
Yeah, he can do it. Yeah, so we didn't wind up on Long Island.
Mm-hmm.
We wound up going west instead.
Yes, you did.
We went west to Easton.
West to Easton.
Okay, this is what wound up happening. So we went to Two Rivers, and it's funny because every time I said we went to Two Rivers, most people are like, "Oh, that beer is not very good." But the beer has gotten better.
Beer's gotten better at Two Rivers. They're making some good stuff, but the food is fantastic.
Oh my god! So it's the first time that Carrie had ever had a bacon peanut butter burger.
Nice.
So guess what she made for dinner tonight?
Bacon peanut butter burgers.
Bacon peanut butter burgers, and it's funny because we've got 3 friends that are in that went up to Portland over the weekend, and so they're bragging about the duck fat fries. Yeah, well, I had duck fat fries at Two Rivers.
Two Rivers. Yeah.
So they do duck fat fries, but they put garlic, rosemary, and shaved pecorino on it.
Shaved, pecorino, right?
Yeah, so it's like you had just fries fried in duck fat.
Mm-hmm.
Mine were doctored up a little bit nice.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Was there an egg on yours?
No
egg.
Because it's not a poutine.
Fair enough.
Not a poutine.
Fair enough.
And I remember when I was in Portland and went to Oxbow and then went to the Freak Shack, and I asked for the poutine, like, you want an egg?
Now, he said freet, not freak. Just want to point that out.
The Freak Shack.
He didn't go to the Freak Shack.
That's a whole different experience.
A completely different experience.
But the Freak Shack, they asked, so I ordered the poutine. They go, do you want an egg on that? And I went, why is that even a question? That should not be a question. It should be, if someone doesn't want an egg, they should say, hold the egg.
Don't put an egg on that. Right?
Yeah,
exactly.
No, it should always come with an egg. What's wrong with you?
And when we were up there, when you and I were up there a couple of years ago, when we went and I ordered mine, guess what they were out of that particular minute?
They were out of eggs.
Yeah. So I could have waited an hour until somebody got back with more eggs, or I could have had mine then, and I was really hungry, so I had to have an egg. So we went there. Then we went over to we went also in Easton. We went to what's the brewery there that's not very popular that moved out of Jersey? They weren't popular because they wound up screwing everybody over on their bottle thing. They were in Jersey. They moved over to Easton, changed their name, and never honored the bottle club. Huh.
And I know a lot of people were really bent about that. Oh, Separatist.
Oh, Separatist. Yeah, right.
And I forget what they were called when they were in Jersey.
Well, I mean, the name says it all right there.
Yeah, right. But those people will be glad to know it looks like they're closed permanently.
There you go.
So they're closed. We hopped across the river to Invertace.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing some decent stuff there, I gotta say. So they're in Phillipsburg. We hit there. So that was pretty much our weekend. We spent Sunday cleaning the apartment.
There you go.
Oh, and babysitting her niece.
There you go. So that's fun.
Yes, that's always fun.
All right. So, well, on that note, we've definitely come to, I think we're to the top threes. What do you think?
Yeah, we had another subject, but we're going to save it till next week because it's really more, it's more apropos for next week.
It's more apropos.
And we don't want to get into it because, I don't know. Do we want to get into it? Because if we get into it next week, it's not going to really be that much Christmas in July. That's going to be a long conversation.
You know what? Let's talk. You know, we both, do you have a fourth beer you can have?
Of course I can.
All right.
Of course.
I'm still drinking this one anyway, so let's get into it a little bit. Right.
But you still have a third beer you need to get it.
I have a third beer, and you know, I mean, I don't have to finish my third beer. I can finish it when I can bring it downstairs with me and eat dinner with it. So, but in any event, My point being, let's get into it a little bit, and then we can.
Yeah.
We're going to touch on it next week, regardless.
We
right?
will touch on it next week, and
well, and before we sign off the show, you'll hear why. But why we'll touch on it next week. What next week has to do with what we're going to talk about, I should say, anyway. But Anchor Brewing. We've posted a bunch of stuff on our Facebook page. We shared some stuff.
Well, let's go through the timeline. It started off with, we're not going to distribute nationally anymore. We're just going to distribute within California.
Well, let's back up 1 second from that. Just so you're aware, if you haven't been following, if you've been following this, you know all this already. But if you haven't been following this, Anchor Brewing is owned and has been since 2017, is owned by Sapporo Beer, which is Japanese Sapporo beer, right? The big cans, Sapporo, right?
Yeah.
They own it. Now they bought Anchor as a means to get production into the United States, so that they didn't have to ship beer that they made in Japan to the United States. They could brew it in the United States and then distribute it, through the distribution channels into, where they already were, right? That wasn't boding well for them. So a couple of years ago, to 2021, they bought Stone. So Sapporo owns Stone right now. Now they don't own the distribution, Stone's distribution. They own Stone Brewing, right? So they're brewing, and they're being able to brew Sapporo in not only California, but also in Virginia. Stone has a brewing in Virginia. So obviously much more beneficial for them. So they don't really give a damn about Anchor. They don't need it. It was a pointless purchase, right? So continue.
So the timeline, not even a month ago, they announced that they're pulling back their distro to California only, and they're going to discontinue Merry Christmas and Happy New Year beer. Yep. Everyone, of course, was very upset about this. A couple weeks after that, they announce they're ceasing operations entirely at the end of August.
Yep. Just in time, 3 weeks before
I was supposed to be there. I had actually booked the tour the day before the announcement. And because I had planned on going there, going live, pulling John in so we could ask them what the actual fuck when it came to not brewing the Christmas beer. Now, the Christmas beer now is irrelevant to the whole thing. Anchor itself is going away. We're losing steam. We're losing Liberty Ale.
If you're not familiar with the Christmas beer,
there it is right there. We're losing
that. They don't all come like this. They release these, but they have 12-ounce bottles too.
So, which I have quite a few over there, and down here, as a matter of fact. So that tour got canceled, of course. Got my money back for it, of course. And it's interesting because everyone was so upset by it, and very upset by it, and people were like, "Oh, this is an outrage." And that was my reaction at first, but then I finally realized, when was the last time anybody bought anything from Anchor that wasn't a holiday beer?
Yep.
Right. So John and I were talking about this earlier, about how every craft beer nerd, every true craft beer nerd, I'm not talking the straight up hop heads that think if it's not a double dry hop, double IPA, it's not craft beer. I don't care about what they think, but every other person in the craft beer world espouses the term and the philosophy, drink local. And I started thinking about this, where we've gotten so ingrained on that about drinking local.
And hold that thought.
Nothing wrong with it.
Rightfully so. There's nothing wrong with drinking local.
However,
that's what everybody, and you should, and rightfully so, you should, because you need to support the small business. You need to support your local brewery, and local breweries in general, because there's a lot of really, really, really good craft beer being made right in your backyard, and you need to embrace it and enjoy it and support it. Go ahead. But
if that's all you're doing, and you're not paying attention to the national breweries that we all know and love, like the aforementioned Stone, Anchor. John, I talked about Founders earlier. Some of these other breweries that we can get that we love, if you're just taking them for granted and not buying any of the beer, still saying you love them, and get butthurt when they close their doors, there's a hypocrisy there. And so I looked and said, no, other than buying the Christmas sale every year, I can't remember the last time that I bought an Anchor beer. I have no right to be upset about this. So, and a lot of people are, I think, starting to come to that realization. Augie Carton, that's one time I've said it. He did put his reaction to it was, and it was perfect. When was the last time you bought a 6-pack of Anchor Steam? That's all he posted. And that started that whole conversation. Now, I was already thinking along those lines, but when I saw that post, I'm like, exactly, that's the point. When was the last time you bought?
I'll even go one further for you. I've been, as you would imagine, I'm in multiple, craft beer groups on Facebook, right?
Yeah.
Right. And this has been a topic of conversation in almost all, if not all, of these groups. At some point or another, people are putting posts up and going back and forth, and there's threads. People are commenting. So you go through them. You comment in a couple. You just read through some, right? Depending on what it is, what the question or the topic is. But several times, and when I say several, I mean maybe not a dozen. A lot, not 40, not all of them, but a good amount. All right. The people will start a conversation. They'll talk about Anchor Brewing, and undoubtedly, someone in the comment that this person posted, replying to this person, get it right. Their name is Anchor Steam.
Oh God. Sorry, that's the beer.
No, that's a beer they brew. Their name is Anchor Brewing. They're Anchor Brewing Company. Okay. And so that's my point. There's a lot of misinformation. There's a lot of people that don't even know that. And look, I'm not putting anybody down. These are people that actually enjoy craft beer and drink a lot of craft beer and drink local and support people and everything else. They don't even know the right name of the brewery.
But I'm even talking about us that do know, right. Who failed. We failed. We can only blame ourselves for this. We can't whine. We can't complain. I'll
admit right now, I buy at least 2, if not 3, most of the time 2, sometimes 3, 6-packs of Anchor Christmas every Christmas. Right? It's been many, many years since I bought a case. It's usually 2. Sometimes I'll buy, if I drink through a lot of them, because I save them, right? Sometimes if I drink through a lot of them right away, I will buy a third. But I always buy 2 straight away, right? Anyway, I shouldn't say I do, because I don't anymore. I have on occasion bought, I've bought Anchor Steam. Probably, I would say maybe a 6-pack every year. Maybe. At some point or another. And that's averaging too. There might have been some years that I bought 2 and some years I didn't buy any. So it's averaging maybe 1 a year. And then on a really rare occasion, when I can find it, if it's available, I buy the porter. That's it. That's all I've done.
As historic a beer.
Recently. I mean, 15 years ago, yeah, I bought a lot more Anchor than I did.
And historic, as much of a historic beer Anchor Steam is. Mm-hmm. And as much as I really did enjoy that beer, mm-hmm. to me, the biggest loss is the porter.
Yeah.
The porter is one of the greatest porters this country's produced.
That Anchor Porter is a very, 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 very well done porter.
And I think it's the porter that all American porters should have been judged against. Mm-hmm. But it's going to be gone. So what I was getting at is that we can sit here and cry over spilled beer. See what I did there? Or cry into our beer, whatever, about this, or it's what did Yogi Bear say? It isn't over until it's over.
It isn't over till it's over. Yeah.
Right. So the last thing that we posted up on our Facebook page on this topic is from Narragansett Brewing. And Narragansett Brewing came very close to going under. for the longest time, they were not brewing in Rhode Island.
They were being contract brewed by Genesee,
In Pennsylvania.
in Rochester, New York.
Oh, New York. That's correct.
Yeah.
Correct, in New York. So they were not being brewed, and this is quintessential Rhode Island is Narragansett.
Being brewed by a brewery on the shores of Lake Ontario.
Right. So it was, and then it got to the point where they were going to go under. But the people wouldn't let them go under. They're like, you know what? We're sorry. We haven't bought your stuff in a while, but we'll fix it. We'll do better. And they crowdsourced them back into life. Narragansett now has a massive operation in Providence, right down by the river. Massive beer garden, beautiful venue. And Narragansett hasn't been it's been a long time since Narragansett's been as lively as they have. Narragansett Brewing remembers this. You got to give them credit for remembering what saved them. Narragansett is now leading the charge to save Anchor. Please go on our Facebook page, find that there is a petition, sign that petition.
Yeah. Go to the Log Room Guys Facebook page. We have the link there. It was posted yesterday, so just look for anybody listening to the audio podcast. Look for something posted before.
I think I put it on Sunday. I think it came up on Sunday.
Sunday. It was Sunday.
Went up on Sunday.
Sunday, July 16th. There'll be a post. So scroll back to that. You'll see the post for
Narragansett.
The petition Stand Together to Save Anchor Brewing Company. It's a change.org post.
Yeah. And this is step one. Step one is going to be let Anchor know that, hey, we forgot. We're sorry. We want to fix this. Show that support so they know that support there so that they're open to next steps. Right. That, okay, let's stall this closing a little bit. Let's get next steps out there. Next steps was maybe there'll be a crowdfund. Maybe this will push another brewery or brewery conglomerate to pick them up.
Just as long as it's not one.
Yes, as long as it's not one that has an eagle logo on it.
No, you don't want that one.
No. Lone Eagle, I don't think has the money to do it.
No, by the way, quick, hold that thought. No, get finished and then I'll ask you. Okay.
So we'll see. Like John and I also spoke earlier, and he enlightened me to the fact that Ballast Point was bought out from Constellation, so it was taken out of one of those big conglomerates by a brewery in where is it?
King in Illinois. Kings
Illinois.
in.
Yeah, we looked it up earlier.
Kings in something. Yeah. That happened a couple years ago. Yeah, that was Constellation had no interest in
craft beer.
They wanted the spirits. They wanted the canned cocktails line. And if you know, it was Ballast Point canned cocktails. Now you see Cutwater everywhere. Same thing. So Constellation owns Cutwater. It was what they were. They are what Ballast Point canned cocktails were.
But we got our Ballast Point beer.
Or Ballast Point beer was bought. The brewing was bought by them. Yeah, so
we have Sculpin back, but it can be done.
Yeah. So here's my question, and this is an interesting question. All right,
okay.
We all want Anchor back. We all want Anchor to continue, to thrive, to continue and thrive. All right. We want our Christmas ale. We want our special Christmas ale. Right.
Yeah.
We want our steam beer. We want the porter.
Even if the Christmas ale isn't right away,
we want it.
We want it.
Okay. And people, keep in mind, if you're not aware of this, listen. In 1974 or 75, I think it was 75. Might have been 74. One of the 2 years. Anchor started our special Christmas sale. They didn't start that, whatever that was. They started the Christmas sale. That was essentially the first seasonal craft beer ever. Okay, in America. All right. Obviously, the winter welcome from Samuel Smith's.
But that was from England.
That was England, right? But in any event, so in America, that was
it was 75, John.
75, yeah. So it was the first ever seasonal craft beer in the United States. So anyway, we all want that back. Now, that being said, I'll ask you, Dave, first, and then you can answer. And then anybody else, please just comment on the link. Even if you're rewatching this, if you're listening to this on the audio podcast afterwards, wherever you're listening to it, all right, when you hear this, comment in, email in, whatever. I want to know your opinion. Okay. We all are the same, for the most part, the same mindset. We want Anchor to continue. But here's my question. What if AB InBev comes along and throws money into Anchor, buys it out of Sapporo, keeps the people in-house that are brewing, and they brew everything in-house? It's a distribution deal. Okay? And they same thing as Wicked Weed and you know, Goose Island, to the point. Obviously, they brew some of the IPAs and stuff, but
Right.
it's they brew everything in house. The people that are there in that brewery facility, that brewery, brewing everything. It's just a distribution deal, and they have AB InBev money behind them to do so. Now, how do you feel about continuing to buy Anchor?
You already know my answer, John.
What's your answer?
I've been consistent with this.
Mm-hmm.
If the money is going to Anheuser-Busch,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not giving them my money.
So that's my question. So now,
Because
Anchor has been saved, but not by the person you want them to be saved by. That's my question. So it's hard, right? You personally want them to continue, and AB, it's not going to happen anyway. I mean, this is hypothetical, but AB InBev comes along, throws money at them. They continue to make in-house in San Francisco in that existing brewery. Nothing is made by AB InBev at all. It's just a distribution deal. The only money AB InBev is making is on the distribution side.
If it's just a distribution deal, that's not ownership.
Well, it is. It's ownership to a point. Obviously, they're going to have
because
they're going to have ownership of the brewery because they bought the brewery out of Sapporo, right? So, you know,
but you said it was just a distribution deal. No, they're the owners.
Well, they are the owners. That's my point.
So the money's
but
going
the people that are there, look, Sapporo brewers from Japan are not brewing Anchor. The people in San Francisco that work and have for many years at Anchor are brewing the Anchor beer. Okay,
you already know where I'm going with this. Mm-hmm. If it's just a distribution deal and they're not the owners, that's different because they had a distribution deal with Founders. We still want Founders, right?
Right.
Because Founders still owned. The profit still went to them.
Founders is not AB InBev. Founders.
No, it wasn't Founders. Who am I thinking of? There's someone else that they just had a distribution deal with, not a. Or was Founders, and it was another big conglomerate that they had a distribution deal with.
Well, I mean, Wicked Weed is a distribution. Wicked Weed's still brewing their own beer, and you've had Wicked Weed because you've been to the Funkatorium down in Asheville. So
I had one. It's
and Goose Island, right? It's now AB InBev brews their Goose IPA. They brew the 312. They brew those beers.
Destroyed 312.
Right.
Oh my God! I destroyed that beer.
Goose Island in Chicago still brews
BCBS.
And
I have never bought a BCBS since. Have I had it? Yes. Have I paid for it? No. And actually, at one point, someone said to me, like, "When was the last time you had it?" I said, "It was a beer festival." They said, "Well, you paid for the tickets, so you paid for it." Like, the tickets were comped. Fuck you. So no, I didn't pay for it. No, it's anybody but AB InBev or Constellation or Miller Bad.
Look, that's not going to happen. Anyway.
It's not going to happen.
I just wanted to bring that up. It's
interesting. But now, I've been consistent with that stance.
Right. But now, okay, now,
can I explain? Explain why?
You can in 1 second. You have your stance. You feel that way. This happens, right? This Christmas, this Christmas, in November, end of November. You're in a liquor store, you're in a beer store, you're in a craft beer bottle package store, whatever you want to call it. You walk in and you see Anchor Christmas, our special Christmas sale. All right, now brewed, yes. There's AB InBev money in that brewery, but the brewmaster that has been at Anchor for many years, he's the one that brewed that beer on the equipment that's been owned in that San Francisco facility for many years. So it wasn't brewed in Newark or St. Louis. It was brewed in the same facility that it's been brewed in with the same ingredients for every year since, right? You see it in there. You're going to say to yourself, yeah, I'm not buying it.
Yes, I am.
All right.
And
Tell us why.
Here's the main reason, and I'll give an analogy as well. Another painful moral decision analogy that hurts. The reason I'm saying no
Mhm.
is I don't want them having any of my money. I don't want any of my money going into the practices that they use to squash breweries. What they have done to small breweries with the money that they have to pay their lawyers, I don't want to be a part of that. I would rather sacrifice one brewery to keep them from stomping the shit out of everything else.
Fair
and
enough.
the analogy that came to mind
Was
is the puppy mill puppies. You go to a store that's selling puppy mill puppies.
Mhm.
You see this puppy. You want to take this puppy home. You want to save this puppy. You want this dog. Knowing full well when you pay the money for that dog, that goes back to the puppy mill so they can continue their operations to do some of the most heinous acts ever on the canine species. And it breaks your heart to walk away from that dog.
Mhm.
But you know you have to for the sake of everything that comes afterwards.
Mhm.
That's my analogy.
Yeah, fair enough.
And that speaks to the analogy as to why you have to say no, but also to the pain
Mhm.
that it's going to cause you
Right.
to do
Fair
so.
enough. Fair enough. And on that note, folks, you do you.
Yes, I'm never going to judge anybody for doing what they do.
You do you.
All my
but-
friends buy BCBS, and I don't yell at them for it.
I do too. But if you do you, but as far as dogs go, rescue.
Rescue, always.
Rescue.
Absolutely.
Rescue. There you go.
There are too many dogs out there without homes, sitting in shelters that are going to be put down.
Mhm.
Go get them. Don't pay for these accessories that are being created out there.
Anyway.
And the big moral behind here is you got to feel sorry for poodles. They're making them fuck everything now, aren't they? So you got the hyperallergenic dogs from everywhere.
I don't want to see a Puwawa. I don't want
I don't want to see a Chihuahua. Period. I don't care what is
like,
bred.
Chalupa. No, that's not.
Chalupa? What?
Anyway.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
So now we're gonna take the soapbox down.
We're gonna take the soapbox down, and we're gonna go to
our top threes.
Our top threes. Our top three list tonight is, and obviously this would have been even better with Drew on the show,
because we would have heard some stuff that we had where we didn't even think of.
I don't know if you want to open a fourth. I don't need to open my.
No,
third.
I don't need to open a fourth.
We could just finish the show, and I'll have this other beer another day. So our top three list tonight would have been better with Drew on the show, but it's top three favorite Canadian beers, not from Kahnawake. All right, top three favorite Canadian beers.
And now with Drew not on the show, we can take down the not from Kahnawake, and we might put up a couple of
we you know what we've talked about. Look, I've only had ever 2 Kahnawake beers, and they're both fantastic. So these are 2 honorable mentions for me straight away. So
right off the bat.
All right, so have at it.
Okay, so I'll start with my honorable mentions. One of my favorite breweries in Canada, John's favorite brewery in Canada, is De Ciel.
De Ciel. Right.
Microbrasserie De Ciel. So L'Exercice. Oh no! The first one is the honorable mention. The Seki Nico. It's a dark imperial farmhouse, and the reason I give it an honorable mention is I really
What's
enjoyed
it called again? Say it again.
Can I write it down properly? Isseki, Esseki, Nico, Nicho. And the reason I bring it up is there is a samurai on the label, so you had to drink that. So there's an honorable mention. My next honorable mention is from Microbrasserie Pit Caribou.
Mhm.
One of my favorites, and that's the Gose de Barachois. And the Gose de Barachois, it was a hoppy goes not a happy ghost. That'd be Casper.
Mhm.
A hoppy goes, and the hoppy this it was just hoppy enough to be there, but not hoppy enough to take the whole thing over.
Right.
So the whole essence of a ghost was still there with a little bit of hops in it. It was such a refreshing beer. So love that one. So now on to the top three. And I don't know if I could put this in any order, but I'll go number three. Yeah, number three would be Maudit. Maudit is from Unibrew, and this is it's a Belgian double. It's a kind of dark for a Belgian double, but quite a lovely beer. And I remember the first time I saw Unibrew, I thought it was a joke name, and it was pronounced Unibrow. But no, it's Unibrew. Not a joke at all, and what they brew is not a joke. The next one would be from Pit Caribou, Vin d'Orge 2017.
What is it?
Vin, V-I-N,
Mhm.
d'Orge, D''ORGE. And it's from 2017. It is a smoky vinous barley wine. Just enough smoke in it to know it's there. More of a wine-like character than a barley wine character.
Mhm.
Such a good beer, and I had that this May. And also this May, we stopped at a place called Brewski. Brewski's down in the old city of Vieux Montreal,
Mhm.
and they have a beer called Gose Noix de Coco. It's a coconut gose, and it was fantastic, absolutely fantastic. So those are my top three.
All right. Cool. All right. I'll give you mine. First of all, I'm going to give you a few. I'm going to give you my top three, but I'm doing different breweries. And
I'm
I'm
gonna
going to
have
mention.
I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, go ahead.
I made a mistake this morning.
Go for it. So anyway, I'm going to give you three different breweries. Okay. Number three, it's going to be from Nickelbrook Brewing in Burlington, Ontario. It's Kentucky Bastard. It's a 14.5% bourbon barrel aged imperial stout. Fantastic, delicious beer. And that would have been. I'm going to give you like three or even four number ones. I'll give you three number ones. But they would have been my number ones, and you'll see when I get there. So I wanted to get two other breweries in there. I didn't want to stick with one brewery. You'll see in a minute. My number two, I am a huge fan of Maudit, which is the Belgian double from Unibrew. But in any event, Dave went with that, and I also love Le Fin du Monde, which is their 9% Belgian triple from Unibrew, and they're in Chambly, Quebec, as it were. So that brings me to number one. My number one, by far, my number one Canadian beer is Pêche Mortelle. Pêche Mortelle from the Duciel in Montreal. It's 9.5% Imperial Coffee Stout. Fantastic. One of the best Canadian beers I've ever had. One of the best Imperial Coffee Stouts I've ever had. One of the best coffee stouts I've ever had. I can go on. The best Duciel beer I've ever had. Anyway, but I've also had. Now we're back. Just to recap for Dave, since he was away from the show for a minute. I gave my number. Better now. Okay. I said my number three was Kentucky Bastard. It's a 14.5% Imperial Stout from Nickelbrook.
So that one, yeah.
My number three, Le Fin du Monde, 9% Belgian Chocolate from Unibrew.
Le Fin du Monde.
Amazing.
Yeah, this.
So I said
the banana beer.
Right. I said my number one, by far, end of story, bottom line, 9.5% Imperial Coffee Stout, to Duciel, Pêche Mortelle, right? By far. But I'm giving you my other two favorite Duciels, okay? Which are, I didn't want to give three Duciels for my top three list, right? I wanted to include a couple of the breweries there. But Pêche Mortelle, the regular base Pêche Mortelle is my number one, even though another one is the bourbon barrel aged Pêche Mortelle. I like the regular one better than the bourbon barrel aged, although the
That
bourbon barrel aged is amazing.
says something because it's rare that John likes the base over the bourbon.
Over the bourbon,
aged.
yeah. It's you know why? Because the coffee is so good in the bourbon, and the bourbon notes are amazing in the bourbon barrel aged Pest Motel. And last time I had it was just this past February in Church Key, actually in Washington. It was that was fantastic. I actually had a few different variants of it, but the other one that I want to bring up is I want to say it right. Equinox du Printemps. Equinox Printemps. Equinox du Printemps. It's a Scotch ale. It's a wee heavy. All right. It's a 9.1% wee heavy. You know me in Scotch ales. I'm a huge Scotch ale fan. From Du Ciel. Amazing. That's it. So those are my three number ones.
Three number.
Those are my three favorite.
So this is very, very appropriate considering the earlier conversation when we were talking about the Tuatha De Danann from Ireland, because many of their goddesses were three-phase goddesses. They're triple goddesses. So you have a triple goddess of a beer.
Yes, you do. This is very true.
Right. Bridget was a triple goddess. The Morrigan was a triple goddess. Anyway.
So that's it. So I mean, those are my three favorite Du Ciel beers: Pêche Mortelle, bourbon barrel aged Pêche Mortelle, and Equinox du Printemps.
Now the one thing that I want to do is a shout out to some of the other breweries in Montreal. Melon's doing some really good stuff. That's where I met the Austrian maniacs. Was at Milan. Reservoir, I think, makes some really good stuff.
Do they have a beer called Dogs?
They really should. Actually, I think they should, and they should have a Mr. Pink, a Mr. Brown,
Of course.
a beer called Stuck in the Middle with You. Thank you, Quentin Tarantino, for making it so I never ever can listen to that song the same way again. But they've got some good things going.
And who does that song?
Be Steelers Wheel.
Steelers Wheel, very good. Give that man a shirt.
I was a disc jockey in college.
I know.
But the point I was just about to make is that next year, more than likely in August, we're going to be in Seattle.
By the way, for those of you that are too young to know what a disc jockey is, that's a DJ. But go ahead.
Oh yeah. See, that's what DJ stands for, actually. But maybe in August we might wind up in Seattle and Vancouver. So, when we talk about Canadian craft beer, it's almost always Montreal. So to be able to experience what's going on the left coast of Canada, that I think that'd be quite special. So that'll be a lot of fun. If that's where we wind up, our August trip will be Carrie's choice, and that's where she's leaning. So I've been nudging a little bit.
Vancouver, you're going to start in Seattle and go to Vancouver, or Vancouver back down to Seattle?
Yep. Seattle, Vancouver.
Nice.
So that'll be a hell of a trip. It was going to be Seattle, Portland, but the drive all across the country to Portland is Portland, Oregon. Sorry,
Seattle, Washington, Portland, Maine. No, that's just
Portland.
It doesn't work. It just doesn't work.
So, but then we realized there's just so much else in Oregon that I want to do that Oregon might be a trip all on its own.
Or Oregon needs to be its own trip. Yeah.
Right, getting into the Yakima Valley. Yakima Valley's Washington, isn't it?
Yakima Valley's in Washington.
Yeah, it's Washington. But that still might be part of it because I think it's closer to Portland than to Seattle.
It is.
So.
But it's in Washington. But then I mean, you have the Willamette Valley.
Yeah,
Willamette Valley's in Oregon.
Yes.
So,
and
Matt and I will be in both. We'll be in the Willamette Valley and the Yakima Valley next May.
Doing some hop shopping.
A little hop shopping. So, and there are some wineries out in Oregon too. So that might be part of that trip, if and when we get out there. So that's on the list. There's so many places we want to go, and I'm not getting any younger, so got to prioritize where we go. We do 2 big trips a year, and a bunch of little small ones. Small ones are fun too. You always got to do the small ones.
Well, Montreal is one of the small ones.
Right.
And in And in September, we're going to San Fran.
Yep.
San Fran's expensive.
Yeah, it is. It is. Although, did I ever tell you about the one time I'm in San Francisco, and was in I think it was Sheraton. Pretty sure it was a Sheraton. I'm not sure, but I'm staying there. So in downtown. Had breakfast in the restaurant in the hotel, and wound up sitting table. I'm sitting out here, there's us. And here's the end of the table. I'm right here, right next to me here at this table. Tommy Lasorda.
Tommy Lasorda, the legendary coach of the LA Dodgers.
Mm-hmm. And Godfather 2.
Godfather 2. He was a legendary coach of Godfather 2?
Not quite what I meant. And he was.
He had a small role in that.
Legendary coach of the Los Angeles Dodgers, and he was also a godfather to
Fernando Valenzuela.
No.
I have no idea.
Somebody that he made the Dodgers sign in the last round of the 1988 draft.
Did he become a Met?
He did become a Met and went in the Hall of Fame as a Met. And
did he have this kind of mustache?
Yeah. He owns a soccer team in Italy.
And he had the head of a bat thrown at him at one point, and the pitcher that threw the head of the bat at him claimed he thought it was the baseball.
Right.
But if he thought it was the baseball, why is he not throwing it?
Because it's dodgeball, right? It's dodgeball. You throw the baseball at him to get him out.
You lying sack.
It's the roids. The roids had his mind also.
He is a lying sack.
And I'm talking about Rocket, not the one we're talking about.
We're talking about Clemens. We're not talking about Piazza. We're not talking about the light in the Piazza.
Yeah.
Piazza just means like courtyard.
Pretty much. Yeah.
It would have been better.
We're talking about Michael Courtyard, right? He's the godfather of Michael Courtyard.
It would have been better if you weren't staying at the Sheraton, if you were actually at the Courtyard by Marriott.
That would have been fun.
And met Mike Piazza at the Courtyard by Marriott.
Right, exactly.
That'd be awesome.
Right. Mike by Marriott.
Piazza by Marriott.
Piazza by Marriott. Anyway, all right. So that's that. And there you have it. All right, cool. I think we've accomplished a good just the two of us show tonight. Sorry, apologies to our audience. Those of you expecting to see Drew Stevens, he did get tired. It really was. It was a last minute thing, and he just couldn't make it. And it just unfortunately wound up. Things worked against it, and he just couldn't. He was planning on being on all along.
Yeah.
And I mean, for weeks. I mean, this has been booked for almost a couple months now. But he couldn't do it. So we'll get him on again. We're booked pretty much. Kind of, sort of, at least some tentative dates through September. So It's going to be end of September, beginning October. But we'll get him on and we'll talk to him. But we hope we did it we did him some justice tonight, talking about his brewery.
His beer did us some justice.
Yeah. So and the beers were fantastic. So again, apologies for those of you that were expecting to see him or see him on the show and hear him. Those of you listening to this on the audio only podcast, you already know that he wasn't on a show because in the description of before you actually click the podcast, you'll see that he wasn't on. So you'll know that. But in any event, next week, we'll have obviously another clue. And pretty much the second to last clue.
It is the second to last clue.
For the contest. But even more importantly than that, it's going to be our Christmas in July show. It is indeed July 25th. Kind of works out perfect, right?
It was nice.
And we will
have very nice.
Very nice. And we'll be having two guests on. It will be Mr. Tom Mulvihill, the beer whisperer, and also brew guru himself, Mr. John Starodumsky.
I'm so excited to meet both of them.
Both of them will be on. Yeah. Oh, and on that note, by the way, I was talking to Doug.
Which Doug? We know so many Dougs.
Doug Smith.
Oh, that's that Doug.
Doug Smith, right? And his plan is when Coastal opens up, right? He's planning to get himself, Tom, and John to the grand opening event.
Well,
Okay.
Tom, I know is planning on it.
I know he's planning. I'm talking, but
and Doug, I think, is just going to kidnap Starodumsky.
Doug's going to kidnap Starodumsky. Yeah. So, but what I said to Tom when I did his show a week and a half ago, I think if me, you, Tom, John, and Doug are all in the same room together at the same time, the universe will implode. So,
with a nice frothy
a
head.
nice frothy head, right? Exactly. Anyway,
that is the way the universe will end in a nice frothy.
This is the way the world ends. This is the way the world ends. Not with a bang, but with a nice frothy head. Anyway, so next week, so Tom and John will both be on the show. We'll be having our Christmas in July. We'll be drinking Christmas beers, yes, in July.
Yeah.
And those of you that actually see this off of the Honest Craft Beer Reviews and know the Honest Craft Beer Reviews page, you know that Mr. John Starodumsky drinks pretty much nothing but Christmas beers in July. So it will be nothing. It will be nothing new for him. However, for us,
I honestly think that John Starodumsky invented beer Christmas in July just to empty his goddamn beer fridge.
He clearly buys way too much in December. So, but in any event, so we'll be having that show next week, and it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun, and we'll talk a little bit about Anchor too. Obviously, that's what we were talking about before.
Because be prepared that all four of us will. It's very possible that all four of us will drink an Anchor Christmas ale on the show.
Yep.
There may be some tears in the beers. Tears for beers.
Tears for beers.
No, you ever notice? Have you seen that one where someone mentioned that every album cover by Tears for Fears looks like a couple that is not talking to each other at the moment?
Yeah. I guess that's the fears part, maybe.
Yeah. Because they're always like looking away from each other.
Mm-hmm.
I'm done with you. I've had enough with you.
Well, everybody wants to rule the world, so I mean,
I know that's too much. That sounds like work.
Sounds like work.
It sounds like too much friggin' work.
Exactly.
You can rule the world. I just want to be left alone.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So, if I had a picture pinned to my wall. No, never mind.
No.
It's another song. Anyway, okay. So enjoy that show. Enjoy the rest of your week.
Yeah.
That show. Don't miss that show. If you're listening to this on rebroadcast, watching this again, tune into that show. We want questions. We want a full packed show. It's probably, if I know the four of us, it's going to be a 2+ hour show.
Yeah, it's going to be a while.
It's going to be a long one. So we want you to watch. We want you watching. We want you commenting and talking about Christmas beers. Drink a couple with us.
I should probably have a bucket.
Yeah, really. You should probably, or at least or at least a Boke's bottle. Boke's bottle, right? So, in any event, drink.
I need a growler.
Yeah, probably. But in any event, have a. I should have probably said Brian bottle, not Boke's bottle. But sorry. Anyway, but in any event, drink some beer, drink some Christmas ales with us. Get a couple out of
and you know what
cabinets of
and now we've got a lesson learned. Mm-hmm. Yes, drink local.
Mm-hmm. But don't forget about it.
But for the love of God, go buy some Stone. Mm-hmm. Go buy some Founders. Mm-hmm. Grab yourself some Great Divide. Mm-hmm. You know, these breweries who were some of the first to start distributing nationwide, mm-hmm. who we've started to take for granted. Mm-hmm. If we've learned anything, don't take it for granted.
No, don't take it for granted.
Go out. I just challenge everybody listening right now, within the next couple of weeks, go out and buy a 6-pack from one of those breweries. Founders, Stone, Great Divide. John, you can throw something in there.
I mean, I'd say Sierra, but they're okay.
The Sierra's fine. We know New Belgium will be fine. Mm-hmm. We'll come up with a list of top 10 breweries that you should probably, in your travels, grab a 6-pack of one or two here and there once in a while. Yeah. Just do it. Do it. And the thing is, if we all buy something from one of those breweries once a month, mm-hmm. everybody, they'll be fine.
They will be.
And you know what? So will you.
And so will you. Enjoy. All right. On that note, we will wrap the show up for today. We want to thank everybody for watching. And for those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thank you for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.lageroom.com. That's LAGERROOM.com. And please remember, Like us and follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course, our YouTube channel. All of them are at The Logger Room. Remember, we go live with the video podcast on both Facebook and YouTube every Tuesday night around 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And for those of you who just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music Podcast, and iHeartRadio as well. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or more of those feeds, and you will never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. Drink a lot of beer, but drink responsibly. And we will talk to you soon, folks. By the way, Mr. Mulvihill just signed in, and he's watching. He just liked the show. So thanks, Tom. We will talk to you next week. Anyway, drink a lot of beer, but drink responsibly, and we'll talk to you soon, folks. Take care. Cheers.
Cheers.